Hi, I'm Khushbu Soni, the founder of The Mainstream. Today, on our series of Leadership Dialogue, where we'll be talking about the identity revolution, I am thrilled to share a screen with Abhishek Gupta. He's the managing director at SailPoint India, a leader in identity security with a career that spans strategic leadership, business growth, and technological innovation. Abhishek has built a reputation for driving results in new markets and fostering long term business relationships. He believes to drive committed technology discussions and cybersecurity discussions and helping a lot of organizations and CISOs across various sectors to secure their identity framework. Thank you so much, Abhishek, for joining us today. And I'm thrilled to have this conversation with you.
Thank you for having me here.
Fantastic. Abhishek, I wanted to begin with putting across my first question. Your journey has been phenomenal in this space, right? What really inspired you to get into the space of technology and cybersecurity and identity security? And what led you to come to this role of leading the India business for SailPoint?
Starting from my childhood, I was very inclined towards technology. That is the reason I had chosen engineering as a degree. Coming from a business background, I always wanted to start my own business. During the last years of my engineering, I chose sales as the platform to learn business. And the sales is a very rewarding career if you look at.
Right.
It's very tough at the same time, but if you're able to learn the art of value selling, if you're able to understand customers pain points and able to solve those, I think the rewards can be really, really amazing. Once I started doing this, I actually started liking it so much that I said this is the career that I want to continue be with. Then over a period of time, I was actually very lucky to have worked with some of the great mentors, so-called bosses, and some of the great technology companies which kept on few challenges or newer challenges into my career, and eventually I'm here. Your question about why did I select various technologies, security has always been very, very close to me. For some reason, I can't explain why, but it has been. When I was doing some cybersecurity business, I thought the next era of change and the requirement of the market is going to be identity security.
True.
And that's when the opportunity at SailPoint came in,
Yeah.
and I grabbed the opportunity.
Fantastic. I mean, also the fact, I think the way technology has evolved, the way cybercrime has exponentially grown in the last couple of years, everybody is talking technology. Everybody's talking about cybercrime and cybersecurity. And also, with so much of advancements in the space of AI, if anybody asks me, what is the thing that you would want to choose between AI and cybersecurity? I would say cybersecurity because, while we want to use so much of tech, we want to secure, right? We want to have that security. So
Sure.
even for me personally, I have that personal feel towards cybersecurity because I feel that security is must,
Yeah.
right? Super, fantastic. So, Abhishek, you've been talking to a lot of CISOs and CIOs across various organizations and industries,
Yeah.
right? At large in India, we've seen the shift of whole cybersecurity, and now identity security has become one of the key priorities for a lot of organizations. How do you think? What is the shift that has got to CISOs to start prioritizing identity security?
That's actually a very good question, because if you look at security, used to be firewalls.
Yeah.
Antivirus systems, firewalls. Those used to be security in some, I would say, about 10 years back. Also, the way businesses are changing, customers are looking at digital transformation. There were several new applications and data systems started to come in inside an organization, and suddenly the identities that used to be only humans, they started to change. The landscape started to change from not just the human identities to when we started looking at non-humans, okay, and non-employees. Today, if you look at, we are talking about AI agents coming in.
Yes.
Right? So the landscape of identity types have changed and evolved so much. Humans and non-humans. Okay.
Yeah.
In humans, you can say employees and non-employees, contractors, people who come and works with you on shifts and so on and so forth. But also on the non-human side, the AI agents, the machines, with the change of landscape within the identity type, the explosion that we have seen in applications and data Okay, marrying these two together and really knowing the aspect of who's accessing what
That's right.
and what are they doing with that access has become practically impossible in terms of manual worksheets, any CISOs or CIOs.
Right.
So that's the reason, if you look at the explosion in the digital identities
Yeah.
and the requirement of such solutions, this has gone up. Before coming into SailPoint, I was not sure how this will actually create a value for the customer.
Right.
But today I am so confident that unless you have solutions like SailPoint, you cannot create a full visibility of who's accessing what.
Correct.
And unless you have that visibility, you will never be able to pinpoint what are they doing with that access,
Yeah.
and are those malicious in terms of their intent or in terms of the activities that the individuals or the machines are making.
Right.
So you need to have a solution like this.
Yeah.
And SailPoint is the best in the position in terms of the innovations that we do and so on and so forth. Those are the compelling reasons for the customers to move
Right.
into this era.
You spoke about a very interesting point about AI agents,
Yeah.
and we're talking about AI for good and for bad, right?
Yeah.
So, just trying to also understand how is AI ML kind of getting in use on the both sides, right? And of course, from the SailPoint perspective, how is SailPoint really looking at using AI to secure the whole identity postures?
Like I mentioned, the number of applications,
Yeah.
the type of identities, and the data that applications are supposed to manage and supposed to access, the explosion in this has made sure that there is no single system or a manual system that can manage this without any flaw.
Right.
Okay, now take an example. A typical organization has, let's assume, 10,000 identities, about 200 applications, and in every application, if we say 100 entitlements, the number of transactions, and assuming that there is no attrition
Yeah.
or no new joining, you're talking about multiplication of these numbers,
Right.
right? To solve this challenge, you need to have AI,
Right.
right? And that's a good aspect of the AI, right? Because with AI, what you can do is you can create a lot of recommendations,
Right.
because the ML is actually helping the system to become more and more smarter over a period of time. It started to give you recommendations, thereby making sure that the loopholes inside the systems are as low as possible,
Right.
and providing the alerts at the right time, right? So those are very critical aspects of how AI is used by SailPoint. In fact, SailPoint is the pioneer in using AI. We started using AI/ML since 2017. So our AI/ML engine has matured over a period of last 8 to 9 years, that it is able to generate the right recommendations for the customer, thereby creating a lot of efficiencies when the customers use it. Okay, and also able to create some new avenues of identity security as to where the customer should focus their energies on.
Right.
Yeah, so I
Sure.
think we are in a very good position that way.
Fantastic. Um, if we can also talk about, I mean, before COVID, we all say there's an era of before and after COVID, right? There was a challenge earlier to really prioritize cybersecurity and identity security before COVID, right?
Yeah.
Now it's become the most important discussion, even in the board.
Yeah.
Do you see that shift? Even when we talk about identity security in organizations, board members, CFOs, very well aligned. Do you see that awareness is needed to go reach to that level of the importance of the identity security?
Yes and no. Primarily, the organizations which are compliance driven,
Right.
there, the board are very serious
Mhm.
because they understand the complications and the kind of risk that they are carrying. So there, yes, the CFOs and boards are really serious and looking forward for these kind of solutions. In general as well, uh, customers are continuously looking at strengthening their cybersecurity defense.
Yeah.
Right? And one of the good thing that I've seen recently is establishment of a notion of or a idea that unless we have a visibility of the access, okay, who's accessing what,
Yeah.
without that, security is of no use.
True.
How much ever security or cybersecurity solutions you use, without having the visibility is like shooting in the dark.
Yeah.
Right? So across organizations, across industry types, we've seen that there is a big take in identity security market. We ourselves are, I'm very proud in last 2 years the way the team has created this market,
Yeah.
and this is we have a huge pipeline. So
Sure.
that tells us that yeah, not just the industries which are compliance driven like BFSI or healthcare, even industries like manufacturing are looking at seriously, because at the end, no one is prone of attacks.
Yeah.
Right, everybody is being attacked in today's world.
True.
And especially in likes of uh, industries which are in manufacturing, the third parties are creating big risks for them.
Sure.
Right, so yeah, I think across industries, but primarily right now the big take up is in the compliance driven companies.
Got it. Got it.
Yeah.
Tell us about SailPoint's India market vision. How are you looking at, India market in the next 2 to 3 years? What is your vision, in terms of identity security across, and how do you would want to look at SailPoint helping customers in this space?
SailPoint has been in existence in India since 2011.
Sure.
Yeah, so we had our engineering office and support office, which is in Pune,
Mhm.
and we established our India business, which is the India team, in 2023. So from a vision perspective, what we are looking at is we are the obvious leaders across the world in identity security. We want to dominate that position. I can't share numbers. We are not regionally allowed to share numbers. India is a crucial market for us, and we are the another testimony of that is within us setting up of one year, we were able to set up our India data center on AWS. From a data privacy perspective as well,
Yeah.
the Indian customers don't have to be worried about that.
Right.
From SailPoint's perspective.
Yeah, because I think there's a lot of push from the government side of the data localization.
Yeah.
Right. So this is a good.
Yeah, this is actually a very very important milestone
Yes.
for us.
Yes, absolutely. Any thoughts on DPTP? I know it's very.
See, the draft is not fully,
Yeah,
in
the
the
rules are yet to
yes.
come out.
But if you look at if I generalize this, how much ever I have read,
Yeah.
the act, and if I look at whether it is GDPR or other privacy
Yeah.
act, this is almost similar to what those acts
Correct.
cover.
So true.
So from a SailPoint perspective, we cover all those privacy acts.
Okay.
We help our customers comply with all those acts. I can tell you that once let the full act
Yeah.
come in, but I think this will be a cakewalk again.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Superb. This has been a great conversation. Any thoughts or any pointers that you would like to put across for our viewers, going to be CISOs and CIOs from across industries? Any last thoughts that you would like to share?
Sure. You touched up a point about AI and ML,
Yeah.
right? And we truly believe at SailPoint that without the AI and ML capabilities, any identity security solution is not going to give you the bank of the buck.
Right.
So you have to have usage of AI ML so that all the new attacks that are coming in, AI and ML engine is able to help you mitigate those risks. Okay. And not just that, the complexities that are increasing in every organization, with the help of AI, this will actually help you create a lot of efficiencies and a lot of business, give you the business edge that the companies are looking at. My suggestion is, whenever I meet with the CISOs or CIOs, my suggestion is always that look at a solution which has the AI and ML capabilities in
Yeah.
the roadmap,
Yeah.
also has the ability of the innovation. So,
Yes.
not saying just because of SailPoint, but we are the only provider of identity security in the world which has any patent in this segment. We have about 71 patents and many are coming in. We are the only one. So the innovation that we provide,
Yeah.
I think from a perspective of identity security, we are one of the most strongest partner for CIOs and CISOs.
Fantastic. I think that's a great achievement, Abhishek. Superb. This was a great conversation.
Thank
Actually, a small surprise segment. I've crafted some rapid fire questions.
Okay.
Anything that comes first in your mind is what we would like to hear.
Okay.
Right? So
Putting me on the spot.
and I love to keep the surprise because otherwise, what's the point of rapid fire?
Pleasure.
All right. So you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. If you weren't in tech and leadership, you'd be in
Leadership.
okay. First thing you do when you hit a creative block.
I go back to books.
Okay, very interesting. If SailPoint India had a mascot, what would it be and why?
I think this will be a boat. We are known as a sellers.
Yeah,
Yeah, so maybe a smaller boat.
lovely, nice. If you had 5 minutes with your 25-year-old self, what would you say in 3 words?
Challenge yourself, learn more, and network. Your network is your net worth.
Lovely. Your secret sauce for staying calm during chaos.
Couple of things that I usually do. One, I go back to some of the books that I call myself as a product of some books.
Mhm.
So I always go back, and I believe that your attitude makes you who you are. During the chaos, I go back to the root cause of the problem. I try to find solutions. One of the secret things that works for me is that control what you can control. You cannot control everything,
That's true.
but just control what you can, and then go back to basics.
Lovely. One last question.
Sure.
Because you said you're a product of books
Yes.
that you read. Top 3 reads that you've loved.
So the first book that changed my life was You Can Win by Mr. Shiv Khera.
Mhm.
The second one was How to Win Friends and Influence People.
Lovely.
And the third book was by Dale Carnegie that I read in Hindi. The title was Sales में असफलता से सफलता तक कैसे पहुंचे.
Nice.
It changed my thought process a lot.
Very nice. Lovely. This was great conversation, and it was really good to hear you personally from those rapid fire questions. Thank you so much for joining us on the
Thank you for
mainstream.
having
And it was
me.
a lovely conversation.
Same here.